Aloha to the lahui. Welcome back to Connect the Dots with Jenny. We're going to be talking about John Pelletier today. We're going to be talking about some celebrities, or at least people who he knows in Hollywood, and how they attended the March 19th Police Commission meeting. And I'm going to tie all of it together for you. So on March 19th, the Police Commission held a meeting to determine whether or not they're going to place John Pelletier on administrative leave after he was named in a heinous Diddy lawsuit where Ashley Parham was gang-ard by at least 6 to 7 men. When she escaped the house, she ran to a neighbor's. The neighbor said, "Hey, don't worry, I called the police." When the police showed up, guess who it was? It was John Pelletier posing as a sheriff for Contra Costa. She filed a police report. When Ashley Parham's lawyer went to get that police report and to get the underwear that she turned in as evidence, they told her she needed a subpoena. So that's where we're currently at. We're going to talk about that March 19th meeting where the Maui Police Commission did absolutely nothing for the Maui community, the Hawaii community, and for the community that John Pelletier serves and protects. In case you guys don't know, I got started with this whole podcast because I read that lawsuit and could not believe my eyes and my ears. It's a very difficult lawsuit to read. I read it. I couldn't believe any of it. Even more so when the March 19th Maui Police Commission meeting happened and they did absolutely nothing. I have people who attended that meeting who have told me the Maui Police Commission completely sold themselves out. Nothing. They unanimously voted 7-0 to not do anything about John Pelletier, not even open up their own independent investigation just to make sure, just to check on the validity of this lawsuit. And guess what? Ever since they never did that, the docket keeps having paperwork filed. We now know for a fact why John Pelletier was identified, why he's even named in that lawsuit. We know for a fact. I'll talk more about that later. Actually, I'll make my own video about that. We now know that John and Jane Doe was granted the ability to use pseudonyms, so to remain anonymous. Now, that was a huge selling point that Keola Whitaker, John Pelletier's land use lawyer, used to get John Pelletier off scot-free. Today, we're talking about that March 19th meeting. There was two gentlemen that was sitting in right behind John Pelletier. See, John Pelletier, what he did for that meeting, he got people he used to work with in Las Vegas sending character letters. None of those letters, by the way, said where he was on March 23rd, 2018, the date in question for when the gang R happened to Ashley Parham. None of them said that. He even got references from prior Maui police chiefs stating that, there's always civil lawsuits that happen to police chiefs. That's no reason to put him on administrative leave. Well, the difference with that is a lot of times those civil lawsuits, those police chiefs are named in, is because they are the police chief of the Maui Police Department. And the lawsuit is against the Maui Police Department. This whole Diddy lawsuit is completely separate. And as we've been watching Diddy's federal trial unfold and all the other civil lawsuits unfold ever since 2023, September 2023, when Cassie first submitted her civil lawsuit, as we've seen all the lawsuits unfold, there's nothing normal about any of these Diddy lawsuits. But guess what? They all have very similar acts that happen in their lawsuits. So what Moana Ludi did is she went up and she spoke and she said, it's just a pro se lawsuit, meaning any person can walk into a courtroom and file a lawsuit, except that's not what it is, Moana, right? We've already proven that she has two lawyers. We had Keola Whitaker over there talking about how that you need to file to be able to use a pseudonym. And they haven't done that. So this case just isn't even active. Yet on June 17th, the Honorable Judge Rita F. Lynn, granted Jane and John Doe's ability to use a pseudonym. Okay, so all of the arguments that the people who went to the Maui Police Commission meeting used in support of him failed, false, wrong, have been proven wrong over time. Okay. Now, there is one of the first person who went up to speak, I'm positive he was the first, was Shep Gordon. Shep Gordon is basically like a talent scout, right? Let me just go back and verify, make sure I'm using the right verbiage. A Hollywood agent. He is a Hollywood agent tied to, let's name some of the people: Blondie, Alice Cooper, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, Groucho Marx, Oprah, Jimi Hendrix, tied to celebrity chefs: Wolfgang Puck, Emerald Lagasse, Anthony Bourdain, tied to so many people. Shep Gordon was, I'm positive, the first person who went up to give testimony for John Pelletier, saying that in Hollywood, he would see this all the time, civil lawsuits all the time. Another man that was sitting there right behind John Pelletier, a picture of him was sent to me very early on, back in April. And they asked me, who is this man? So we did some digging, me and my sleuths, right? We dug, and we found out who it was. And it was another Hollywood agent named Adam Venit. Adam Venit sexually assaulted Terry Crews back in 2016. In 2017, Terry Crews came out and spoke up against it, where Terry recalls the first time he ever met Adam Venit. And he went to shake his hand, and Adam Venit grabbed his genitals and was using his tongue and making weird tongue motions to Terry Crews. Adam Venit eventually stepped down as co-founder of WME, which was basically a talent agency that represented a lot of talent, stars, celebrities. He eventually had to step down over the Terry Crews debacle. He later also got into it with his wife. They had some domestic violence abuse issues. She went ahead and tried to file federal charges. However, the judge dismissed it and said she needs to file it in the state, and they worked themselves out. So we have Adam Venit sitting right behind John Pelletier along with Shep Gordon. And then John Pelletier wants to tell us he doesn't know who Diddy is. That is the dumbest shit I have ever seen or heard in my life. How are you going to come to your own meeting to determine whether or not to put you on trial, and you're going to bring two Hollywood celebrities, and then you're going to say, I don't know Diddy. How would I know Diddy? I don't know. You were also the captain on the Vegas Strip. I don't understand why the Maui Police Commission is so corrupt. And I would like to see some form of accountability for the Lahui, for the people who live in Hawaii, in Maui, and the fact that this man has been hired to serve and protect us, and he's not doing that. The Maui Police Commission needs to be held accountable and needs to hold John Pelletier accountable for public trust and transparency. You just had two celebrity agents show up to your meeting, and then you have the nerve to tell us that you don't know Diddy. We're not dumb. We're not dumb, Lahui. Mahalo for tuning in. Catch me soon. I got more videos. I got some free time, so I'm going to be posting more videos today. Mahalo, Lahui. Aloha.